You are live. Hey, good evening, single moms. Good evening. Good evening. This is Bess Parks, right here, Bess Parks. I am your host for tonight, the founder of the Single Moms private Facebook group, the Single Moms Club private Facebook group, and also the owner or the founder of the Single Moms Level Up YouTube page. So this is streaming in both places at the same time because we could do that now. So what I'm gonna do, like I usually do, is go and check and make sure that you guys can hear me. So I've only got there we go. So I've only got two devices, so I can only check one, which is the private Facebook group. I could check that. If I had a third device, then I could check the YouTube channel, but I do not yet. Pretty soon I'll have some other things, as my my other ventures start to monetize and also income. Sorry, total distraction. But as things start to, money starts to flow in from my other ventures, I'll be able to have some more equipment that I can do those things. I actually really don't need it. This is fine, just as long as I can check that one device there. But anyway, today is day 2 of the Single Moms challenge. And the challenge this month is the evolution of a single mom. That's the challenge. The evolution of a single mom. This is day 2, and yesterday it was just so um, left that I thought, even though probably to you I'm pointing right, so it's so left. But to your left, this is your left. Everything just kind of went in a different direction than I initially planned because just I don't know, life happens and as single moms, we have to and we learn to get used to changes happening on the fly. And so you just make decisions on the fly and you just get things done on the fly. And it's just, the schedules change and all of that, you know, um, we just work with what we got and we do what we need to do. That's one of the well-known facts about single moms is that we do what we need to do. But we also in the same time, in the same breath, need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves and not excluding ourselves in order to do what we need to do. So today we're going to talk about this subject here, um, the early stages, the early stages of evolution. So yesterday we talked about um, the new beginnings of being a single mom. And that starts from the time that we find out we're pregnant. And it's like a whirlwind of feelings, emotions, and change is happening like every day and every week and monthly. It's just a lot of change. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. But we talked about all that, and I had a special guest. You'll have to go watch the replay to find out who that special guest was that came on. But today we're talking about the early stages of the evolution of a single mom and the challenge, the single mom and how it is a challenge. But just know challenges come for us to get to know ourselves better, for us to learn some new things, either about other people, about ourselves, about circumstances, about how to become resilient, how to learn to make it and walk through some things that may be hard. I believe that single moms are chosen. We're chosen to be single moms because there's something that's in us that needs to be pulled out. And what better vehicle to pull that out other than to have some children? because your children will pull out all kinds of things, all kinds of memories and flashbacks of stuff that happened in your childhood. That all comes up as we're raising our kids because we have the memories of us being that age, at times. And then sometimes we have, we try to be our mom and then we realize that we're not our mom and we're our own person. Try to, mimic what our parents did because maybe we didn't like how we were raised. And we start realizing that, hey, this is how I would like to raise my kids. Not completely, you know, throwing that away, but taking that experience and adding to it with the way that the world is now, or the world is when you're raising your kids. And things change. And so we have to change with it. We can't stay stuck in the old, oh, this is how my mama raised me. And this is how my dad, this is how my daddy raised me. We can't always do that with everything. Some of the things and the baseline things that tend to not change no matter what's going on in circumstances. We keep those, but we have to add into the factor of what else is out there, all the distractions that our kids have now, and even us too that we have now. Everybody's got a TV. They got a TV in every room. Everybody's got cell phones. They got this, that, whatever. There's a lot of distractions. So that has to have some boundaries. So we have to create those boundaries for our children so that as they grow up, they know what the boundaries should be. And whether they acknowledge them or not is it's a notion. It's a notion. They know what to do, but just as we were kids, we always do what we're supposed to do when we're children, and sometimes as adults we're the same way. But um, we're not bashing that. It's just part of the process of what we go through as moms, let alone single moms. Single moms go through a whole nother set of things. Not just being a mom, but now we have to be the everything, the the disciplined person. We got to be the loving person. We got to be the caretaker. There's so many things that we have to melt together to be that and do it in a balanced way, and not try to be somebody else that's not there, or overcompensate for somebody that's not there, either completely not there, or that pops in and out, and then you have to compensate. We have to care and nurture and bring our kids back from sometimes from being in another household and with some different roles, or maybe if it's a situation where the other person, the kid's dad, is not supportive of you, verbally, or and says a lot of things that the kids hear, that other parents say, that you can't control that other parent, and what they say and how they do things, um, but you can protect your kids from it. Just know a lot of times it's gonna end up being a fight, and it's gonna end up being a fight, but it depends on if you're in a place to do that, because sometimes we're not, and it ends up with us as single moms having to pick up our kids after hurt feelings and things are said, and then we have to support them and encourage them and love them back to life, because that sucks the life out of them, and if it sucks the life out of them, it does the same for us, because now we got to pour into them extra, which is why we as single moms tend to pray a lot. We tend to pray a lot because there's so many things that happen in the early stages when we're trying to find preschools, we're trying to find babysitters, we're trying to get our work schedule, going in a direction that we can work and have the baby picked up or whatever, and we got to reconfigure all that stuff. So that's part of the evolution of being a single mom. Whether some people have become a single mom later on in the stages of being a single motherhood, and maybe the kids weren't babies and you didn't have to do that. But I'm just referring to that because I'm trying to cover all of that, all every stage through this challenge. And there's probably about five of them. Probably about five of them. Yeah, no, 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 yeah. There's about five stages. In this early stages, this is when the kids are starting, to talk a lot, and now you can have conversation, they have conversations with them, but they're sleeping through the night now. So now you're feeling a lot more revived because you get to sleep, although you still get to the end of the day and probably just pass out. But still, you're being able to sleep through the night, and that is an accomplishment. That's an accomplishment because now you're able to, your body's able to restore and reboot and flush out some stuff, and you get to rest through the night. But to get there, is a challenge. Is a challenge for the new beginnings. That's the process from new beginnings into the early stages. There's a process to get there, and how long that process takes, there's no set rule on how long that takes. It takes as long as it takes for the child to get accustomed to sleeping at night, sleeping through the night for a good amount of hours, 6 7 hours, or how 6 7 hours. It's a process. But and as that process goes, we as single moms develop into that process, change in that process, and we have to be able to realize, hey, that the child's changing, and there's a pattern being changed here. And try not to get too frustrated about that. The thing is that most of us don't do well with change. We don't do well with change. It creates anxiety, stress and frustration, because change tends to happen and take things out of control and out of our normal routine, especially when you start getting a routine down, and now it's like, oh crap, now it's something different, and I got to get used to that. And you're uncomfortable for a little while, and then that routine starts to become, excuse me, that new way of living. Excuse me, I don't know why that happens when I get on here. Excuse me. But that new way of doing things becomes a little bit more of a routine and more of a habit, and how you do things as we continue to do it. But it takes practice. It takes practice, and we practice on a daily basis. And with children, we get a whole lot of practice. We get that 24/7, 365 practice. But we need to learn to ask for help, as we talked about that yesterday, when we need help. I mean, if you need to take some time out for yourself, a couple hours, or if you have a friend or a family member or somebody that can keep your kids so that you can go and I guess, as you say, have a mom's day out, or a mom's night out, or have some time to yourself, to talk to some other adults, and or just some time for yourself to go get a pedicure or manicure or whatever, massage. Do something for you, and do some self-care. That's important. And uh, even more important, I would say, is self-love on a weekly basis. We should be we need to, not we should be, we need to, including myself. And I had to do this. um I didn't know if I wasn't planning on sharing this. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I will. So this past weekend, at my church, we had um a single mom. It's a single mom, her daughter, and her grandchild. And that single mom's brother and the single mom's sister were in a fatal car crash. Um, it doesn't, the initial report says it wasn't, it appeared that the other car was possibly running at high speeds and hit this car, made it roll over, and four of the people out of the SUV were ejected from the vehicle. those four people died. The three, whereas the mom, um, the daughter, and the grandchild, um, they went to my church, and this is like really hard to hear, and I have to say I've been a little off kilter a little bit, um, because she's a single mom, not just a single mom, but I know her. I know how well she's done with her daughter and her grandson, and just I could just see pictures of them going, you know, in through my mind, and the only thing that gets me through it is the fact that I know that she had a prayer life. I know she's a Christian. She knew God. She knew Jesus. She's a believer. Um, and that's the prayer is the only thing that's getting me through this. And the whole entire church has been affected because everybody knew her. Everybody knew her daughter and her grandson. Um, it's hard. It's a hard spot and a hard emotional thing to take in, but I still have to breathe. And I've noticed that when stress and things come about, I take shorter breaths, um, and I have to make myself take deeper breaths, take time out for myself in the morning when nobody else is awake, and prayer gets me through that. Prayer gets me through that, and I think at this stage of single motherhood, this is where we develop a prayer life. Whether you're a believer or not, you develop a prayer life, because uh, that process to get to when your child is sleeping through the night, you get to that your wits end, and you're like, doggone it, I don't know if I'm gonna make it any further if I don't get a good night's sleep. And you start, like, oh my God, I need this child to sleep through the night. And what you don't realize is that you're praying. you know that's a prayer. And prayer is nothing but speaking to God and telling him what's on your mind, and being real and saying it however you got to say it or feel it. His feelings don't get hurt. He wants us to be real. And prayer is the way for us to release some things and ask for help, within, with the spirit that lives within us, from the spirit that lives in us, and past the being tired and sleepy and exhausted. There is a strength beyond that. Man, if a single mom doesn't understand that, there is a strength behind that. Even when you're completely exhausted, some way, somehow, from deep within us, we can push out this extra energy and strength to still keep going, even after we're tired and exhausted. And as single mom, that's the CEO part of us. That's the CEO that is being pulled out of us and shaped and molded into our lives as we go through this evolution of being a single mom. Yes, it's a challenge. Yes, it's hard. Um, yes, I'm getting notifications, late notifications, that my video started at 8 o'clock, and it's like 18 minutes past. But anyway, but yes, it's hard. Yes, it's a challenge. But know that you will make it through this. You're gonna make it through this. Everything, all of this, being a single mom, and every stage that we have to go through is a process, and processes do not happen overnight. Um, it's something that is unexplainable, and that somebody that is not a single mom would not understand, or had never been a single mom would not really understand, um, the the additional exhaustion, the additional, um, uh, almost stress and anxiety that single moms go through. Hey Tony, thanks for watching live. Um, but yeah, single moms, it's a process. It's an evolution. And so going from the early beginning stages to now going into these early stages. Now it's like, okay, the baby's sleeping through the night, and now you have this new revived you because you're getting sleep. And so during those early stages, you start to learn and see more and see better how you can navigate being a single mom, because now you have better opportunities and more opportunities during nap time during the day to get some things done. And now it's a little bit longer and a consistent thing that generally happens around the same time of day. It's not just random anymore. um or every two every 2 hours, and sometimes that 2 hours might end up being an hour, sometimes it's 15 minutes, but it's more consistent. And so the early stages, you learn a lot and you are able to help um, more with your children and help more even with someone else and their children. You're able to give some advice now to somebody that's in the beginning stages. So, because now you have that experience, but as single moms, we are being trained, shaped, and molded to be CEOs in every area of our lives. Mind you, that being a CEO doesn't mean that you have to own a company, it's a mindset. So we renew our minds and we have these new thoughts and these new creativities that that come to us as single moms, because as single moms we have to be very resourceful in what we do. And no, it doesn't have to be illegal. It doesn't have, we ain't got to lie and skimp and steal for it, but we could come up with some very creative ideas to making dinner, to clothing, to where to get these clothes, uh discount stores to maybe get some shoes or whatever. We could come up with some very creative things, or even also we can come up with the creative things of how to increase our finances, how to increase the money that's coming in. When we share as women and we share these things and these resources with other women, that helps us to do what we need to do. But until we start talking to each other, and realizing, hey, there's other single moms that are going through this too. You're not by yourself. Just know that you're not by yourself. And being a support and reaching out to another single mom, by the way, which is the homework I asked y'all to do yesterday, and I hope you did it. It's really simple. Call somebody that you know is a single mom and reach out to them. Just ask if they're okay and offer help. That was your homework yesterday, was to offer help to a single mom, that and give them not just a general, hey, if you need me, you can only pick up the phone and call me. No, hey, I'm available on such and such a day, at such and such a time, and I can help you out for a couple hours doing laundry or watch your kids for a couple hours. Or hey, if you want to go out to go grab something to eat, or if you want to have a play date with our kids, just so that they can have that time with another adult. So that was your homework yesterday. I hope y'all did it. It helps to have somebody to have that time with. And just as well, it helps for us to have our own quiet time to ourselves, our own quiet time to ourselves. And oftentimes, I've found for me, and I've also found it with some other single moms, that quiet time tends to come early in the morning before anybody else wakes up. I am not a morning person. I have not been a morning person. I can't say I'm not one now, but I've kind of developed into one because I have kids. But before that, I definitely was not a morning person. I was maybe a late morning person, like 10, 11 o'clock. I'm waking up, finally just getting myself together. Um, which is why I like that mid shift when it comes to a job. I like that 9 to 6 or 10 to 6 type mid shift, because that's when I'm awake and I'm alert and I can function better, because that's just, I don't know, I'm a late morning person. But now I've become a morning person and can function a lot better, as a morning person. And if I need some time to myself, I tend to go to bed early. I'll go to bed early and try to go to bed at least an hour earlier, and so I can get up possibly an hour earlier and have that time for me before anybody else gets up, and I go sit myself in a quiet place. And even if that quiet place, let me get closer. Even if that quiet place is in your closet, I'm telling you that because most of the times your kids don't look in the closet. But even if that quiet place, you got to get in your closet and sit in there quiet and drink your coffee. And do what you gotta do, single mom. Do what you gotta do. But having that quiet time where you can gather your thoughts, do some deep breathing, and I mean deep, like breathing, you know, not the that's what we do every day. And because we're not breathing through things, that's what causes a lot of anxiety, stress, you know and we're not functioning very well, and there's a lot of reactions to things instead of us coming from a place of rest. We're trying to work our way so that we can rest, but we need to come from a place of rest. So if we start our day out different, and if you got to encourage and talk to yourself in the mirror, then do that, but have some quiet time. And for me, I have quiet time. I have my devotions. I pray in the morning that that everything goes all right for the day, and that my kids are fine and that they're protected. And I go through all of that, and this is part of my things that I do, because people tend to, I don't know, some people seem to be very surprised that I have kids, and I'm not sure why that happens still yet. I think it's kind of sort of maybe my demeanor, that I'm um very just like even kill. I don't like flip out really anymore, but that's something that's developed through my single motherhood, is that I'm not so quick to react to too many things. Yes, if you keep poking at me, I might flip out on you, you know. But I'm not too quick to react on things, and I definitely have gotten to a point where I don't give things my attention and my energy that suck my energy from me. Um, I have my kids that I need to pour my energy into. I have, my family and my friends and all that I would like to pour into, not necessarily looking for anything back, but just because I want to share myself, and I want to share with them my life, and things of that sort, especially when they're supportive, and it's a reciprocal giving, and sharing type thing. That's an awesome thing. And having single moms, people that know what you're going through, is an awesome thing. So, so tonight I want to challenge you to this. Find yourself a quiet place for you to go. Try something new that can help you out in your evolution as a single mom. Get up early, or if you're a late person, stay up later, whatever, however you do it. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, because you know who you are, and how you work and how you function. But find that time when there's no cell phone. Hopefully nobody's calling you. Hopefully nobody needs you. But get that time where you just relax and be with you. Clear your mind with at least taking 10 breaths, 10 deep breaths. If you find that you can only do one, work your way up to 10. I've been there before. There's no shame in it. There's no blame in that. Just know that that's something that you need to work, that needs to be worked on. And it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean you're not doing things right. It just means that you need to pay more attention to you, and to your time, and to taking care of your inner self, your mind, your heart, and your soul and your spirit. You need to take care of that, so that you can do the outside stuff better, which is, doing some self-care, and then caring for your children, and caring for those outside of yourself. It's not selfish to care for yourself. It's actually loving for you to care for yourself, so that you can take better care of your children. And when they see you take better care of you, they learn from that on how to take better care of themselves, and how to not let other people use and abuse them. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that they're being abused or anything, but that's just, just a saying, but so that they know that not to wear themselves out when they are giving to other people to do their best at taking care of themselves. So your homework tonight is find that time for you to sit quietly, no cell phone, no social media, sit and be, just be, just be. Get your thoughts. If your thoughts are all over the place, then start praying about them. Say, oh God, take this, take that, take this, take that, take this, take that. I'm trying to tell you, it's going to help you. It's going to help you. That's what helps me get through my single motherhood, is definitely releasing stuff and praying it and giving it to God, and be like, you know what, I can't do this right now, so I need you to take that, because I need to focus on this. So I'm just saying, I'm gonna share that, and that's